It started with a coffee. Just one $6 latte on a Monday morning. Nothing dramatic. Nothing that felt worth worrying about. But by the end of the month, I looked at my bank account and realized that little coffee had company. Delivery fees, subscription renewals, lunch I didn't plan for, a few quick Amazon orders, a rideshare I could have skipped. None of it was huge. That was the problem. It all felt harmless. If you live in the US right now, you probably know this feeling. You get paid, you cover rent, gas, groceries, and your credit card minimum. Then, somehow, the money is already disappearing before the next paycheck shows up. And the strange part is, you may not be making terrible financial decisions. You may just be leaking money in tiny places every single day. A lot of people think being broke looks like one big disaster, but usually it looks more like 100 small habits. The extra streaming service you forgot about. The food delivery app that saves time on a tired Tuesday. The treat-yourself purchase after a stressful shift. The new phone plan because the old one felt outdated. Each choice makes sense in the moment. That's what makes it so hard to see. I remember sitting in my car after work, staring at my phone, trying to understand where my paycheck went. I had a full-time job, nothing fancy, a normal 9 to 5. I was doing what a lot of people do, working, paying bills, trying to keep life moving. But month after month, I still felt stuck. It felt like I was making money just to send it right back out. So I did something simple. I started tracking every small expense for 30 days. Not to judge myself, just to see the truth. And the truth was uncomfortable. My money was not disappearing because of one giant mistake. It was leaving through tiny cracks I'd barely noticed. The first crack was convenience. That coffee shop on the way to work. The breakfast sandwich, because I skipped making food at home. The $12 lunch because I was too tired to pack anything. The $8 app fee because I didn't want to wait. When you're busy, convenience feels like a reward, but in the background, it becomes a habit. Then came subscriptions. Some I used, some I barely remembered. A music app, a streaming service, a cloud storage plan, a fitness app I stopped opening in February. None of them were expensive on their own, but together, they were stealing real money every month. Enough to cover part of rent, enough to wipe out a utility bill, enough to matter. And that's when it hit me. Lifestyle creep does not always look like luxury. Sometimes it looks like normal life getting a little more expensive every year. You earn a bit more, so you upgrade your phone. You get a small raise, so you stop checking prices as carefully. You have a stressful week, so you order out more often. You start telling yourself, I deserve this. And you do. The problem is not the reward. The problem is when the rewards become automatic. What makes this so frustrating is that it doesn't feel reckless. It feels human. It feels like surviving. But once you see the pattern, you can change it. Not overnight, not perfectly, just steadily. I started with one rule: make the small stuff visible. I looked at bank statements once a week. I canceled the subscriptions I didn't use. I made coffee at home 3 days a week instead of 5. I packed lunch more often. I gave myself a small weekly fun money budget so I didn't feel deprived. That mattered because cutting every joy out of your life usually backfires. People don't fail because they spend a little. They fail because they try to become unrealistic. Then I looked at my spending triggers. Tired after work? Order food. Stressful morning? Buy coffee. Bored late at night? Scroll and shop. Once I knew the trigger, I could interrupt it. Not every time, but enough times to save real money. And here's the part most people miss. Saving money is not only about discipline, it is about design. If your card is saved in every app, spending gets too easy. If your paycheck goes straight into checking and sits there, it gets too easy to disappear. If you never give your money a job, it will find one on its own. So I began separating things. Bills first, savings second, spending last. Even if the savings amount was small, it created a little space between me and my money. That space changed everything. It made me think before I swiped. It made me notice what I actually valued. A few months later, I was not rich. I was not suddenly wealthy, but I was no longer confused. I knew where my money was going. I had fewer random charges. I felt calmer, and for the first time in a long time, I stopped living in that constant fog of I should have more left by now. That is why small spending matters so much. It is not because a coffee will ruin your life. It won't. It is because repeated small choices create your financial reality. When money is tight, tiny leaks have a bigger impact than people think. So if you feel like your paycheck vanishes too fast, don't start by blaming yourself. Start by looking at the small habits, the daily expenses, the subscriptions, the convenience purchases, the places where your money slips away without a clear decision. That is usually where the story begins. And once you find those leaks, you stop feeling powerless. Not because the economy changed, not because rent got cheaper, but because you finally saw the pattern hiding in plain sight.